Welcome to my world. 2 escargot, pate, frisee, 2 green salads.
Okay, lettuce what's here?
Lamb chops, steak frites. Shouldn't you be doing something? 2 smoked filet and a pepper steak. Come on, make the dessert. Chocolate tart, please. As a cook, tastes and smells are my memories, and now I'm in search of new ones. So I'm leaving New York City and hope to have a few epiphanies around the world, and I'm willing to go to some lengths to do that. I'm looking for extremes of emotion and experience. I'll try anything. I'll risk everything. I have nothing to lose. Before I came to San Francisco, I thought it was all hippies and vegetarians. But it's not like that at all. I'm liking this town. I'm liking this town a lot. It's a little run down. Everybody's drunk. I like it. I came here because I'm on a mission. I'm going to the mountaintop. I'm going to eat at the world-famous French Laundry in the Napa Valley, about an hour north of here. It is my lifelong dream to taste the food of Thomas Keller, the owner and chef of the French Laundry. He's the man. There's nobody who can touch him. I can't even describe how much I'm looking forward to this meal. My reservation isn't until tomorrow, so while I anxiously await guaranteed bliss, I gotta eat. I just want to keep it simple and light in anticipation of tomorrow's meal. First stop, Swan Oyster Depot for breakfast. A classic seafood hangout in a town famous for great seafood. The stuff is fresh. Hi, Doug. What's good? What do you recommend?
West got nice oysters, clams on a half shell. Got West Coast turtlenecks.
Oysters, man, the perfect food. Don't have to do anything to them. They come great.
Okay.
So a really great oyster tastes like the deep ocean, flesh, brine, and there's something there that's just impossible to describe. The texture, the sense that it was alive seconds before it went into your mouth. This is living. You don't have to do anything to an oyster other than crack it open, squeeze a little lemon on it, and eat it. That's it. I'm a purist when it comes to the oyster, but I can't help wondering what Thomas Keller does with it. I guess I'll have to wait to find out. What's the most popular right now?
This time of year, the most popular thing that we sell are Dungeness crabs.
Really?
Yeah. And they're caught from roughly California-Oregon border all the way down to about Monterey, California. Yeah, we're gonna pick them up a nice hop right now. Some of that.
Lovely.
The carapace of the crab contains the fat and everything. If you take a pig, we call it the crab butter. I'm gonna give this to Tony right now.
Oh, outstanding. Incredible. Who said back fat was a bad thing? You know, maybe you can see it on some hairy guy in a Speedo at the beach, but in crab, it's good. This is the kind of place you wish you could find in New York. Beautiful, fresh seafood served by a bunch of regular Joes who are proud of what they do and have been doing it this way for nearly 100 years. Hey, thank you. That was definitely a religious experience. Okay, Tony, remember, keep it light, keep it simple. Next, I'm headed out to the Sunset, where I've heard they're whipping up some pretty kooky ice creams. Charlie, hi. Nice to meet you. Polly Ann's is well known in San Francisco, particularly among the Asian community, for their unusual ice cream flavors. Pumpkin, red bean, interesting, taro.
You got the American Beauty?
Oh, it's a rose?
Pretty strong.
Yeah.
Too strong.
Reminds me of kissing my grandmother. Lychee. That's right. It's a great flavors.
Thank you.
These are all very good, but not strange enough. Then I see it. Durian looks really interesting.
You want to taste that?
Maybe a little cup of durian?
A cup?
Yeah.
Not the spoon?
No, I think I'll take a whole cup.
Okay.
Now, I've had durian in Asia. It's a fruit with a smell so strong and offensive, airlines prohibit bringing it on the plane. Try leaving cheese or a dead body out in the sun, and you're in the same neighborhood as the smell of durian. This is durian ice cream, Ed. It's the real thing, man. Almost like a smoky camembert avocado flavor. It's really, there's just nothing like it. I don't see Carvel stocking this. One internal belch, and you've pretty much destroyed the lives of innocent citizens around you. Charlie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. I'll be back. I have some chef friends coming into town. I think I'll bring them by for this. Thanks.
Okay, bye. I
love the wackiness of Polly Ann's and the purity of Swan Oysters, but I can't wait till tomorrow when I head to Yountville to meet my idol, Thomas Keller, and eat his food. The day finally arrives, not a moment too soon. But I'm nervous. I feel like I'm going to the prom. I'm very, very psyched about this, and I'm spectacularly impressed by this book. I'm really, really looking forward to this in a big way. You know, I see him as absolutely the most exciting chef in America, at the top of his game. And he's a notoriously driven perfectionist. And, just the book, it's brilliant. If you read the recipe for this simple-looking garnish of garlic chips, it requires a level of skill, diligence, and exactitude one would expect of a neurologist. And I like seeing the look in other chefs' eyes when you bring up the name Keller and you talk about the book. Oh, yeah. I want to see that. This morning, I'm extremely fortunate in that Thomas Keller has invited me to see one of the local organic farms where he and his staff get their produce.
Chef, very pleased to meet you.
How's it going?
Really good.
Good.
Been looking forward to this. Thank you for enduring this and having us.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
So how many fruit trees approximately do we have? We have about, what, 7, 8 varieties of fruit between that? Figs, apples, pears, peaches?
Everything here except cherries and apricots.
Peter Jacobson is just one of dozens of purveyors that Thomas Keller works intimately with in order to obtain the most exceptional products.
The great thing about the relationship is we're so close, the staff, the cooks, get to come over and actually harvest. Well, these guys who are young, just getting out of school or doing an externship, are actually coming over here and realizing where all this stuff comes from. So it breeds a different kind of respect for food that typically doesn't happen in restaurant kitchens.
I'm ashamed to say that after a lifetime of cooking and banging around kitchens, it's only been in the last year that I've really started to see where food comes from. You know, I've been ordering up food over the phone, and, you know, maybe...
boxes.
Yeah.
Right. Here, these are our fava beans this year. Peter, they're going really well right now. You can see.
Now, anybody who knows me knows my indifference to vegetables. But this guy's got me drooling over fava beans.
Yeah, and I just love opening that up because it just the way they're cradled in there. You know, the way nature just kind of packs them into this cotton. I just love that.
He's cool. Really cool. And I cannot tell you, there was an electric shock of seeing, you know, a chef in a chef de cuisine, you know, yanking vegetables right out of the ground. That's just mind-blowing to me. I have never, ever in my life done that, or even considered doing it. The road not traveled.
I'm not dining alone tonight at the French Laundry. I have to say that I've deliberately made up a guest list in a shameless attempt to make up for my own deficiencies and prestige in the business. These are people Keller has every reason to respect. Michael Ruhlman, co-author of the French Laundry Cookbook, a writer I really admire. Eric Ripera is the chef of the 4-star restaurant Le Bourdain, New York. Scott Bryan, chef-owner of Veritas, maybe my favorite restaurant in New York.
It is beautiful. Oh, God, look at this.
It looks so much like France. It's unbelievable. Even the trees.
So you think we're going to get the cone to start? Is that like a signature thing every time?
I think it's just too well known not to.
The cone? Oh, yes, I like that.
I do too.
Yeah, I like that very
My
much.
introduction. I think it's, it really had, you know, you have the one meal of your life that changes how you, forever, how you see food and understand food. And it happened at the French Laundry when I first ate there.
We must look like a bunch of good fellows on our way to meet the boss. Only I'm the guy that gets whacked in the first reel. But at least I'll die in luxury.
The one compliment that I enjoy the most is someone saying, this reminds me of, and they'll tell you of this wonderful experience that they had somewhere else. And, you know, I hope they go somewhere else and say, this reminds me of the French Laundry. Because, you know, it's those memories, you know, that I think are the most important things. Yeah, the typical French Laundry experience, Michael knows a little bit about it. So.
Yeah, we have the highest expectations.
I'm giddy. I'm nervous. I'm excited like a 16-year-old girl on her way to her first date. I just hope I'm up to the task of appreciating what I'm about to experience.
All right.
Me too.
Presenting menus for you, but there aren't any decisions to make at all tonight. Chef Keller is going to send you quite a variety of dishes.
It starts off with his famous cornets with salmon tartare scooped on top, like an ice cream cone. Keller likes his food to evoke memories. You don't hear a lot of chefs talking like that, playing with magical forces like memory as if they were ingredients. I didn't see this cone on the menu at Polly Ann's.
Here we have sesame cornet with marinated salmon tartare inside the cone of red onion creme fraiche.
Great, thank you. Like, it makes you feel like you want to eat 10 more, you know? Wow. Really, truly inspired by Baskin Robbins cone.
Most food is an evolution or inspiration. There's very little creativity in anything. The cornet is about as close to creation as I got. But of course it was inspired by an ice cream cone. So, there you go.
Cool.
This cornet is so playful and so tasty. I gotta wonder what's next.
This is a roasted Walla shallot soup, braised scallop belly soup, and then Maine lobster consomme, vichyssoise.
There's something in here that I can't identify.
The four of us suddenly start playing detective, trying to solve a mystery. It should be pointed out that there are four of us at the table, and that all four of us are getting a completely different tasting menu of about 20 courses, which if you're a chef will make you shudder with fear and terror to even contemplate.
Of course I'm thinking we're all going to get the same, because it would be much easier for the kitchen to do. Okay, you know, send out that voices and pearls for the foretop. Who would deliberately choose to...
Sorbet course for you now. So yuzu sorbet, a little bit of coconuts. So have a cucumber sorbet, roasted red pepper sorbet, beet sorbet.
If I didn't test it, I wouldn't believe it. Like you tell me you're gonna eat beet sorbet, I'm like, but this is so good.
This is,
Instantly, I realize I'm in a whole other realm. That this guy is thinking things that wouldn't occur to me if I devoted my whole life to coming up with just one of his dishes. What sort of will must it take to accomplish each of these intricate dishes?
Thank you. Take your time, chef. Make them perfect.
From the stories I've heard, there is no extent to which he wouldn't go to achieve his ideal. If he thought it would increase your dining pleasure to have one of his staff carve a relief of the Acropolis into each and every fava bean, he might well do it.
come on, please look at my face. I'm just so beyond happy that I think I promised you stunned silence. So far, so good.
I'm beginning to realize this is going to take a while. I'd been warned. Keller told me earlier, don't eat, and I obeyed. I'm on board for the full ride. I'll eat whatever he sends for as long as he sends it. I wonder if I'll get a cigarette break.
We did a special custom for Tony. Coffee and cigarette. How'd you make it? Marlboro cigarettes crunched up into cream. So that's his cigarette stick. We never made that before, and we made it in his honor.
It's a new custard the chef came up with tonight. It's a coffee custard infused with Marlboro tobacco, served with foie gras mousse and nuts.
Good. I needed a shot around now. Thank you.
He knows I'm a degenerate smoker. This embarrassed the hell out of me, but it was utterly delightful.
It's terrific.
Marlboro-infused coffee custard.
I did get a nice nicotine buzz off it.
And it tasted delicious.
The Marlboro Man? Let me see that. Yeah, got a big kick out. Did it? Like that? Got a big kick out.
I guess I expected the flavors to be a little shyer than they were. They're much, they're assertive. He's not shy about flavor.
No. Why would you think that they're
Because the portions are so refined.
God help us, this is a marathon event. After 3 hours, we're only halfway through nearly 20 courses and 7 bottles of wine. Keller's tasting menu is many, many small courses of intensely flavored items, just enough to surprise and delight, then leave you wanting more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pasta course on the tasting menu. We're serving the English pea agnolotte. We have the hand-cut tagliatelle and a great some cardboard truffle.
Do me a favor. Can you hold that magnificent beast right up to the lens? I mean, look at the size of this thing. This is amazing.
As each course arrives, I'm nearly giddy with delight. Yet still trying to look cool for my chef pals. Squealing at the table and clapping my hands just wouldn't do. I'm a New Yorker, for God's sake. I have a reputation for cynicism to live up to.
The garnish, is this dried or fresh? Cut fresh?
I think it's dried.
But it's hard to stay cynical at the French Laundry about anything. I feel like Keller is really playing with our minds.
Finally, we have the Atlantic salmon chops.
Salmon chop. Fiendish. There aren't chops on a fish.
He's got the chop. Were you the one asking about the chop?
Don't even look at that chop, okay? Forget about it.
He's made one. Perfect example of the master at work. Just gorgeous. Who would think of this stuff? I wouldn't.
The only criticism I have, I want like one of each.
Yeah. Caviar question. Chef, we have a panna cotta, like the cooked cream, cauliflower mousse.
So this is what he does to an oyster.
Pickled bologna oyster. This is a gratin.
Each course is an almost bittersweet experience. I know I could never have done what Thomas Keller does.
This is decadence. It hurts to look at other plates.
It's a humbling experience to be confronted with every bite by one's own limitations.
Yukon Gold potato blini with shiitake mushrooms and chive butter. There's a impish humor that runs through this whole menu. He's using a lot of old, lumbering, classic terms with very, very new presentations.
Lobster Navarin. Navarin is generally lamb shoulder. He's coupling a lot of words with foods that are not traditionally done this way.
Wow. This is like driving a Rolls Royce naked in mink underpants. Just so over the top. Luxurious.
You're eating this gorgeous food and you can sense his focus on the ingredients.
So we're going to do 2 more meat courses for you.
This is the shoulder of the Bellwether Farm baby lamb, spring lamb. We'll get these for the next 2 months, and that's it. I just think this is phenomenal.
Bellwether Farm's baby lamb. We're serving the rack, the saddle, braised shoulder, and the kidney with the sauce. It's a lamb reduction.
You can die after eating this because it just ain't gonna get any better.
Selection of sauce here, gentlemen. A couple from the island of Maui here, from the same clay pool there. The darker of the two has a higher minerality.
How much more luxurious do you get than being offered a selection of salts?
And finally, Jurassic salt from Montana. It's been excavated from the Dead Sea there. It's said to be 200 million years old.
Yeah, I'll go with the 200 million year old stuff.
Maui's weird. Color.
Well, that one is nice.
Well, they're interesting, but the great salt is...
I guess it's because my palate.
The soups, the seafood, the pastas, the meats. Keller dazzles on every level, physically and emotionally. I almost feel like weeping. I'm not sure how much more of this I can handle.
So, what's your guess? How much more is coming?
Probably a couple desserts. 3 desserts and then a couple of desserts. Perhaps, yeah. And then some cookies and then...
Exceeded my expectation.
Amazing.
He's not compromising anything.
When we were looking at him in the kitchen from outside, we could see it. We were far away. We could see a happy man. What is the value of that feeling of being happy?
How many chefs get to work in a kitchen like this with a staff like this, with the products that we have? We're just really lucky, you know? Really lucky. And I don't forget that.
It's all about integrity, quality to food, product, and talent. I mean,
While this is all true, I'm just thinking one thing. I can't eat another bite, and the waiter is setting out dessert forks.
reflection of the personality.
I think we're all thinking the same thing.
The stomach is nice.
It's all expended.
I stepped over the line somewhere. It was a lot, of course. No one can eat anymore. We've had enough. We're finished.
Which is a problem, because back in the kitchen, they're just putting the finishing touches on a whole fleet of desserts.
Doing a bunch of stuff tonight that I've never seen before. This particular course, yeah?
They start us off easy.
Mini presentation of the coffee donuts.
This is a signature dish. It's been on the menu since day one.
But then they just go nuts.
Chocolate ravioli filled with the sauteed bananas. French laundry ice cream with the chocolate tuile.
I put salt on the chocolate too.
Crepe Suzette with lemongrass ice cream. Lime sorbet with house avocado.
I don't get it. It's way over my head. Granted, I'm not that bright.
We've been beat, but we flew all this way, and we're not missing a bite. I wanted the food to look like it did in the book, and it does. We all agree the experience is absolute perfection. Well, not everyone agrees.
Perfection is something that you never actually attain. It's only something you search for. Because once you reach it, it's not perfect. You've lost it. It's gone. It can never be perfect. The stars.
You have a very evil streak. That tobacco thing was very shrewd and brilliant. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chef.
We had a good time.
Well, boy, so did we. Yeah, we were all like little kids on Halloween looking in from the outside for a moment there.
Eating here and meeting Thomas Keller has changed the way I look at food. It's also bittersweet. It's made me a little sad to think of all the things I've missed. But mostly, I've learned what's possible.
It was great.